to read it thoroughly.
The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Good morning, dear Lord. We are here today to learn many things. Thank you for this wonderful first day morning. Help us to understand our lessons of the day. This is our prayer through Christ our Lord. Amen. And thank the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Let me take your seat. Once again, good morning. How do you feel today, class? Are you excited for our activity? Yes! Okay, so as agreed, this morning we will have a debate on whether the use of vernacular be allowed in grade 7 to 10 mathematics classes or not. Before moving on, let us also recognize our visitors this morning. We have with us our master teachers, Mrs. Nempa A. Canieda, Mrs. Lena O. Ayar. So we have already formed the proposition team and the opposition team last time. And I think we also have to recognize each member of the team, starting with the proposition team. So we have Bangis Errol J, Matthew Nenyo, Victoria Ayuri, Umawit Matcha, Atomino Jervin, and Miss Erika Diaz. From the opposition team, we have Arneo Josime, De La Cruz Raimi, Prince Dr. Vito, Brandon Jonas, Computer William, and Miss Bonono Desiree. So last time, I have already assigned each team to research on your respective arguments for this debate. So I do hope that everyone is ready. Are you? So without any further ado, I may give you now to our moderator, Miss Felicio Mariel. By the way, our timer is also Miss Fidalba Ivy.
Once again, good morning. Before we start the debate, let me remind you the rules. The first team to give their argument is the proposition team and the opposition team. Each member of the team is given only 4 minutes to present his statement. They should stop when the timer says stop, whether it's finished or not. After each member of 2 teams has given statement, 1 member from each team will give a rebuttal. Is it clear? Let's now start the debate. Let's start with the proposition team.
Good morning, everyone. We in the proposition team strongly support the idea that the use of vernacular should be allowed in grade 7 to 10 mathematics classes. The first reason is that English, which is the language of mathematics, is not our mother tongue. It is only our second language. When the language of instruction is English, we students who learn it an additional language are likely to experience language-related difficulties in mathematics. From the language educator's point of view, it is obvious that the lack of proficiency is the language of instruction has harmful effects on students' ability to deal with context area, text, word problems, and lectures. Many language educators like Spanos, Rhodes, Dale, and Crandall 1988, to name a few, and a growing number of mathematics and science educators such as Cuevas 1984 and Mystery 1981, are providing arguments suggesting that the nature of math and science language imposes a heavy burden on all students. And let us admit it, we are not yet proficient in this language. Our lack of proficiency with the word problems, therefore the use of vernacular should be allowed, so that it will be easier for us to understand mathematics concepts. It is necessary that the mathematical information be rendered in the language of the learners. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to add to the statement
statement of our first speaker. According to a research by 1999 on the influence of language on pupils' performance in science and mathematics, classroom use, and pedagogical difficulties, the language of instruction contributes significantly to the quality of contributions and overall academic performance of pupils. The difficulties pupils face in terms of language in the classroom are articulated by 2 points raised by Bird and Belford 1995 that A. Pupils are hindered if they are unable to articulate clearly in their second language. To articulate clearly in their second language, and B. Language problems may interfere in pupils' understanding of questions. The two are core classroom activities that help restore difficulties inherent in pupils' learning. Teaching in English and using it in the attempt to determine mathematics achievement. The dice is significantly loaded against the speakers of English as second language by 1999. Thank you.
According to Survey UK 2003, when the language of instruction is not the mother tongue, it places double demand on the pupil. First, the demand on language acquisition, and second, concept learning and meaning making. This means that while the students struggle to learn mathematics concepts, they also struggle to learn English as this is not their first language. The language experience of the pupil should be harnessed in formal learning situations so that pupil becomes an active rather than a passive participant in the learning process. Naguras 1989. Research on mathematics attainment on Zimbabwean primary school concluded that most grade 7 pupils show very low ability to apply mathematical ideas to real life problems, even in those involving practical concepts such as gain, lose, interest, discount, and sales tax. Those story problems that require reading and comprehension of the language used and English as the language of textbooks and instruction has felt the pupils' observations are that for substantial teaching and learning and correct concept and content discourse to occur in mathematics. The pupil mother tongue is very important. Researches and studies agree that the use of mother tongue as a medium of instruction make it possible for numeric achievement and development.
Good morning once again. Another thing that we want to point out is that mathematics is as one highly specialized terminologies that most of the students do not have a strong grasp of its vocabulary. How much more in mathematics, which has a large set of its own terminologies. It is out there for necessary to render these terminologies to the language of the learners. If the aim of education is deep understanding of concepts.
In mathematics, mastery of skills and deep understanding of concepts and principles are attained when they are applied to real-life work problems. To answer a certain work problem, students must have good comprehension, otherwise they will not be such as Fasi 1999 and Yonghua 1996, explored how learners understand word problems in mathematics. A common finding was that those who are less competent in English were poor at comprehending word problems. As Fasi concludes that English in the word problem confuses and misleads many learners even when the mathematics involved is simple. Other researchers, Aditwala 1990, Bitcham year 2000, Jones 1982, Berry 1985, Gunye 1997, also had similar results and drew the same conclusion. That language presents difficulties in learning, understanding of word problems. Furthermore, many observe that when learners do not understand, searching for a word that will give them a hint of which arithmetic operation to carry out. For, for example, it has been found that the words more less understood from learners to add subtract problem is indeed true in our own classroom. It is sad to note that only few at our levels possess good comprehension. So if vernacular is not allowed, then it will be more difficult for us to master mathematical skills.
Another point is about communication and active participation of students. In the classroom, where English is used as the medium of instruction, often we see students talk with their peers using vernacular. But when they are asked by the teacher to answer questions which must be delivered in English, they hesitate and most of the time do not answer at all because they lack confidence in speaking with the language. In fact, students who are not fluent in English do not engage and tend to encounter difficulties in understanding subject materials. Moreover, often misunderstanding occurs during the lesson, and most students are reluctant to answer from the teacher. They rather ask from their peers because they are comfortable in speaking in vernacular. With this scenario, they assert that the use of vernacular should be allowed so that students have the freedom to express their ideas and bring out their concerns and difficulties in learning mathematics. It is once again give a hand to the position team. Now let us proceed to the opposition team. Good morning, everyone. We in the opposition team support the idea that the use of vernacular should not be allowed in grade 7 to 10 mathematics classes. The reason is that, as stated already by speaker number 2 in the proposition team, mathematics has its own highly specialized terminologies. These terminologies include words from ordinary English but having a specialized mathematics meaning. For example, set, power, similar, and difference, and also includes words like polygon, isosceles, and quadrilateral, which are borrowed from other languages. Orton 92, Pim 1987. These words and phrases have a specific meaning in mathematics. Mathematics vocabulary is said that to be precise but not always familiar. Thompson and Robinson in 2000 say that the pupils read to master this mathematics language. They are to read, understand, and discuss mathematical ideas. Unlike common English and television, our mother tongue, which pupils hear, see, and use daily in reading, watching television, conversation, and elsewhere. The language and mathematics is limited to school. Now, the vernacular is vehicle for conveying mathematical information because our vernacular lacks suitable terminologies for expressing mathematical concepts and ideas. It would be confusing then to the mathematical terms have precise meaning which are not easy to capture in one word. The teacher obtained one is a whole sentence to elaborate the precise meaning of the term. This suggests that the youth not try to present everything in vernacular. Most mathematical terms are best presented in their English form. Hence, the use of vernacular must be discouraged in grade 7 to 10 mathematics classes. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to add to what our first speaker has stated regarding translation of mathematical terms to vernacular. Citati et al.'s study reveals that when one teacher translated mathematics word problems, including mathematical terms, into the learners' local languages, the learners found the terms harder to understand than when presented in English. Although it can be argued that it might have been the teacher's translation that was problematic. The point is that it's not easy to provide a translation that learners could understand. Acetati et al. 2008 explained the problem for learners when working with English word problems is not only with terminology but comprehension of the entire problem. The result of the research suggests that mathematics is better taught with English rather than vernacular, which might only confuse learners. Thank you.
Another thing that we want to point out is the concept of globalization. Our education today aims at making us globally competitive. We know the fact that English is presumed as the mainstream language of class instruction. For accelerating technological, lifestyle and social cultures changes in the global community. Now, there are developments in mathematics as well as in other areas of science and technology that students must keep up by making it possible for them to access this information, which is mainly available in the English language. Moreover, Baker 2006 argues that in the present day, English is acknowledged as a significant and prestigious language that many people may be exposed to it in a particular domain. Therefore, if we want to be globally competitive, let's try to develop our communication skills, even in the language of mathematics.
By using vernacular as the medium of instruction, we are not encouraging students to use and think in the English language, which is the language of mathematics. In other words, permitting the use of vernacular other than English during instruction will not encourage less motivated students to rely on vernacular to convey the messages they want to deliver because their teachers do not build up their confidence in using English. Also, by doing so, we are getting the students in the habit of translating from the English to vernacular. By introducing English through the vernacular, we are not giving full attention to training students to understand English without seeking outside aid. We are not creating opportunities for them to learn. Furthermore, students who experience such instruction are not trained to thinking from in the English language. Helping students to reach that stage means removing the need for translation and assisting them in becoming better students. Thank you.
I would like to add what the previous speaker has said. At grade 7 to 10, when students are expected to gain mastery of the language, nothing other than the English language should be allowed. Students need a natural setting to help them acquire the language more effectively. They need the kind of environment where they are exposed to and interact with the English language properly. As a result, when the students are out of class, they will encounter the same of similar experiences as they had in the classroom. In contrast, if a teacher tends to teach by relying on vernacular, this means students are learning in a less effective environment because most students view classrooms as a very well and auditing place. They expect to go to class to hear and use the language in a meaningful way. That's all. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. The K-12 curriculum utilizes mother tongue in kindergarten to grade 3. Children in grade 1 are taught exclusively in the mother tongue. In grade 2, the mother tongue is still predominantly used, with Filipino words slowly introduced into the vocabulary. In grade 3, where science, math, reading, and languages will be introduced, the mother tongue is still predominantly used. So the medium of instruction for social studies will be Filipino to introduce the concept of national identity. Grade 3 in K-12 is crucial because it is also here where English is introduced. In the fourth grade, English becomes the medium of instruction for science and math parallel with the now budding cognitive development of the child. My point is we have been taught mathematics using English since grade 4. We are now in the junior high school level. It is fair enough in our level that we learn to express our ideas in mathematics through English. It is our opportunity to sharpen our skill in English while we are learning mathematics. In the words Kessler and Ken, 1987, learning mathematics and English provides a rich context for genuine language use and as such serves as a focal point around which oral language and literacy in English can develop. Thank you very much.
Thank you, position team. It is once again, give them a round of applause. It is now come to the rebuttal, starting with the proposition team to be followed by the opposition team.
The third speaker talks about being proficient in English means you are globally competitive. It is indeed true, but what we want also to emphasize is deep understanding and mastery of mathematics concept. In our real setting, student will not be able to master mathematics skills if he is hindered by his inefficiency of the language. Thus, the use of vernacular should be allowed to aid him in learning mathematics concepts. If we look at Japan, we notice that the most of them are not fluent in English. They learn mathematics mostly through their native or national language, but are they not globally competitive? Thank you.
We want to reiterate the fact that mathematics has its own highly specialized terminologies. Its vocabulary is said to be precise. Now, if you insist in translating these terminologies in vocabulary, the student might be more confused because our daily lacks suitable terminology for expressing mathematical concepts and ideas. It would be confusing to the learner when those terminologies, concepts, and translate our local language because mathematical terms have precise meaning which are not easy to capture in one word. The teacher again often needs a whole sentence to elaborate the precise meaning of a term. So how can deep understanding of concept be achieved? We therefore conclude the mathematics be better taught than learned in its own language, which is English. Thank you.
Now, let us also hear what the audience have to say, what the two teams have presented. Anyone from the audience? Yes?
Good morning, everyone. I think I am in favor of the proposition. Good morning, everyone. I think I'm in favor of the proposition team. The use of vernacular should be allowed in grade 7 to 10 mathematics classes because, as what they have stated, English is not our mother tongue. We are still learning it as our second language, though we are now in the junior high school. Vernacular must be allowed to aid us in clarifying important of difficult points that need to be clarified. In class discussion also, or in group activities, vernacular is the most comfortable language that we can use to be able to achieve learning. That's all.
Thank you, Desiree. Any more? Yes?
Good morning, everyone. My idea about the issue is that the use of vernacular should be allowed in grade 7 to 10 mathematics classes, mainly to aid understanding of concepts. But we don't necessarily translate all mathematical terms into our vernacular since this might lead as to confusion because it's stated by the opposition term. Mathematical terms are species and have specific meanings. And if possible, we will try to learn expressing about ideas in English because this is a good opportunity for us to develop our communication skills. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Leave me. Let us now hear the verdict from one of our judges, Mrs. Nelva E. Cañeda.
Hello, good morning everyone. It's nice to hear students of this debate. Resolving, should the use of vernacular be allowed in grade 7 to 10 mathematics classes? So, I would like to say congratulations to both of you, the propositionists, the propositions group, and the oppositions group or team. Okay? So both teams give the best arguments on the issue, on this issue. Whether the use of the vernacular in teaching mathematics, in teaching and learning mathematics, using the vernacular, our own way of saying those words. So, the use of the vernacular be allowed in grade 7 to 10 mathematics classes. Indeed, your arguments are really very interesting. Your sharing, your ideas are really very interesting. But we are going to consider that the language, our language is considered our second language. And this is really very critical when you are going to teach, especially mathematics. So this language, we are going to consider that language plays a vital role in the student's ability. to articulate your strategies. So being articulate in giving the strategies and in giving or discussing the ideas and concepts critically and communicate meaning not only in mathematics but in all areas of learning. So then this issue of the use of vernacular or mother tongue is also a critical in teaching and learning. So now your debate is whether the use of vernacular is allowed to grade 7 and 10 classes or not. Now we are going to consider the DepEd order number 31 series of 2012 here in the Philippines, that the medium of instruction for mathematics starting grade 4 to grade 10 onwards, grade 4 onwards, should use English as a medium of instruction. This is according to the DepEd order, DepEd order series number 31 series of 2012. This means that mathematics will be taught or delivered by the teacher using the English language. So this is a DepEd order, therefore. But in your part as students, the problem is whether or you allowed to speak in vernacular would depend on the different factors. Number one, first factor would be the teacher. The second one, the factor of the learning of the content or the context. How would you understand the lessons if all the delivery of the lesson would be all in English? So that would be the problem. Then the students' background. If the students are from the far-flung area and then the students are not yet in related with the second language, which is English, therefore there would be a problem. Then, if on your part with these problems, so for us, I would like to say with my my co-judge, Ma'am Mirna, that it would be both yes or no. Okay? Yes or no, because we want to encourage you to communicate well and to participate actively in the lesson, to participate actively in the classroom, and we want also a deep understanding of mathematics concepts and principles. If vernacular is necessary to achieve this, then the students will speak in vernacular. And when I say no because, as stated by one of the speakers, learning mathematics in English provides rich context for genuine language use. And it serves as a focal point around oral language and literacy in English to develop. So, if you're going to consider both of the sides' ideas, it would be acceptable, either yes or no. So once again, congratulations to both of you, both teams, and for all the good job that you presented. Good morning.
Okay, so once again, let us give a round of applause to our judges, Ma'am Yunfa and Ma'am Ayay, for having judged this debate and for having with us this morning. Now, there were only two who gave their idea on the issue being resolved this morning. So I know that all of you have also ideas on the issue. So, I want you to write those ideas in a form of a reflection paper. Okay? You're going to write a 200 to 300 word reflection paper. So that will be submitted tomorrow. Is that agreed? Yes. Okay, on? Okay. So I think that's a wrap. So that ends our activity this morning. You may have your lunch now. Thank you.
Stop na?